Back on the Pete the Planner show. Nicole, I almost forgot the name of the show.
That's
right
the kind
there.
of week that it's been, right?
Feels like it. You can always email me, Nicole, anytime you want to my other email address. But to everyone else, ask Pete at PeteThePlanner.com. We'll answer your financial questions. Maybe we'll bring on an expert like Damian Dunn or no relation, or Phil Schumann, Director of Financial Literacy at IU. Who knows? This one I'm gonna go solo, but I may have to ask Nicole for her assistance too. This one's from Helen. Nicole, this is sort of a, I don't know. I'll just put it out there and then we'll get at it. Okay?
Yeah. Wow.
Here we go.
Okay.
My heart breaks for people who had no one suggest to them that trying to live on Social Security benefits after 65 just isn't possible. Then my heart breaks even more when I see our government rush in and throw money at anyone who is smart enough to be able to milk the system. I have a rental. I cannot tell you how many people volunteer that they are living on their Social Security benefits. I hesitate to suggest that they saved as little as $10 a week from the time they went to work until they retired, that they would have been surprised how much easier life could be. Recently, this very topic came up, and someone suggested that not everyone can do that. I like my inflection there.
Yes.
When I asked her to continue with her statement, how do you do that, by the way? Like,
Right.
you know what? Actually, Nicole, we're gonna do a role play.
Okay.
I want you to say not everyone can do that.
Not everyone can do that.
Continue with your statement.
Me?
Well,
Oh.
that's how it played out, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
Anyway, she suggested that trying to live on low wages was hard. I suggested that nearly anyone can learn a skill that pays more than staying at Wendy's for years without moving up or on. My church has a food pantry. I dare say that some of the people stand outside the church and smoke while waiting for their free food. I think I see red. Bet ya. Keep up your good works. Helen.
Seems like Helen's got a little bit of pent-up anger.
Yeah, look, I don't know Helen, but I've met a lot of people like Helen.
Yes?
I'll start.
Okay.
Since my name's on the show. All right.
But you almost forgot it.
But I almost forgot the name of the show and my name, apparently.
What a plot twist.
Okay. Man, this is tough, right? Because this just feels like a political conversation. And you know what we say about this show, we don't talk politics until we end up talking politics.
Until we end up talking politics, right.
I feel like actually my perspective on what she said has evolved over the years.
Yeah.
I would say as a younger man in my 20s, I would have agreed with her more than I agree with her now. Here's what I've learned. Whatever experiences Helen has had,
Right.
even if she has pulled herself up from the bootstraps on her own, whether she grew up poor or grew up wealthy, no matter what experience she had, I think we still don't understand the other experiences that other people have in their upbringing and their realities.
Yes.
And I think that's where the generalization of someone who's standing in the line smoking at a food pantry, that makes someone angry. Now, Helen, I'm not being intolerant of your view. In fact, I appreciate your view. I disagree with it. That doesn't mean I dislike you, right? Like, I just disagree.
Right.
Here's why I disagree. So we study people's financial habits, and we know when someone makes below living wage. And for the point of a definition, let's go to a living wage calculator. In Marion County, Indiana, which for most people would know it as Indianapolis, Indiana, the average adult, in order to make living wage, let's see, if they're just a single adult living by themselves, they would need to make $11 an hour. If they make below $11 an hour, they really can't make financial progress. They can merely maintain their lifestyle, okay?
Yes.
If they have one child in the household, that goes immediately to $22.85 an hour. If it goes to two children, it's $27.08 an hour. So needless to say, when there's other people involved, it gets really expensive. So there's a couple points that need to be made, and here's why I bring it up. Number one, if you are just working at Wendy's, which have delicious JBCs, Junior Bacon Cheeseburger,
Oh.
maybe you never get the opportunity, or you never see it within yourself. You've never had someone believe in you to the point where you even think it's possible that you can do something other than work at Wendy's. And I don't say that as a person that says there's anything wrong with working at Wendy's. I'm just saying sometimes if no one ever believes in you or paints a picture of a different life and you've never seen anything better than maybe what is a positive reality of working at Wendy's, because who knows where you came from, I think it's just tough to say, well, get a better job.
Right. I'm so glad you took it here because this was exactly the first thing that came to my mind as you were finishing this up.
Yeah, and look, Helen is absolutely right, though. I mean, that's where this is tough, right? Helen is right. The way the person changes their reality and doesn't just depend on Social Security is to make more income, to get a better job. But it's just not as easy as saying get a better job. And here's a silly, wicked reality of this. At $11 an hour, you would have to spend half of that 1 hour's work to purchase a pack of cigarettes.
Right.
And if you smoke a pack a day, you're taking a half of hour of your 8 hours maybe you work a day, and you're blowing it on something as seemingly like
What?
frivolous,
Yes.
like cigarettes. But Nicole, what we've learned, actually our friend Damien Dunn went through a lot of training when it deals with people making living wage or below, who was just on earlier in the show. And we know that sometimes expenditures are made, smoking, eating, dining out, entertainment expenses, because it's the only point of stress relief that
Right.
prevents that party or that entity from completely losing it.
Right. It's their little form of distraction that just lets them take a step back from everything that's going on around them.
That is the word, actually, that I was searching for, distraction.
Distraction.
In a positive sense. It's like I need to escape my reality. I'm doing it with this cigarette, which will give me cancer, oddly enough. I'm smoking, and that's my distraction. So Helen is right. People will be better off if they just save money and they won't have to depend on Social Security. Helen is right that if a person is at Wendy's, this is being the placeholder of a low-paying job, sorry,
Right.
Wendy's,
Sorry,
that
Wendy's.
all you have to do is get a better job. She's right that that's true, but in the execution of the strategy, it just isn't that easy. And I believe this is where a lot of the economic anxiety and economic judgment in our society stems from one group of people saying it's not as easy as you're making it, and the other group saying it absolutely is.
People want to make it so black and white really quickly, but it's not, right? You can't just cut and dry like that.
This is specific. I'm about to turn this about me, and I'm sorry, but I want people to understand that I understand this stuff.
Yeah.
This is why I have a scholarship at the high school I graduated from that I fund for first-generation college students, because I know if we can turn the tide of a family by sending a student to college, then it can change the generations after that. If all you've ever seen is your education ends at high school, or all you've ever seen is the poverty line or living wage, it is really hard to change that. Nicole, that is also why movies and media and entertainment where people of different backgrounds are highlighted are so important, because then someone who identifies with those
Yes.
people can see that it's possible. There's a new movie out. I think it's called like Crazy Rich Asians or something like that.
Yes.
That is like one of the first Hollywood movies featuring two Asian leads.
Right.
This movie is just out right now. It looks really funny, but I think the important element of that is you just don't see a lot of that. But now some kid is going to see it and say, you know what? I want to be a leading man in a Hollywood film. Then some kid that never saw an Asian actor do that.
Right. It's that
Right.
whole, just that one vision of it's possible.
So if this makes me politically identify with one group or not, I don't know, and I frankly don't care. But Helen asked me the question. Helen, I appreciate your view. I disagree with it, but I would still give you a hug because that's how I roll. So coming up after the break, biggest waste of money of the week. That's all next on the Pete the Planner Show.